Welcome to the Buckhorn Podcast. I'm Martelle, and with me always is Randy. What up, Randy?
What up?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Good
Nothing.
day.
It's a beautiful day.
It's nice out today.
Little chilly probably for you.
Nope.
No, you like it?
I like it.
I'm enjoying the sun. I wore sunglasses for the second time this year, I think.
Yeah, it's a little below 70, but I like it.
It's
about 30 degrees below 70.
I just looked at my phone. I was like, it says 54.
Yeah, it's a little chillier than what I would personally like, but I don't mind it because the sun's out.
Yeah, it's a brisk morning.
Sun's out, bun's out.
So, that explains the lack of pants.
Yeah.
So,
Assless chaps.
Yeah, it's a beautiful morning, as we said, and we don't usually record in the morning.
No, today's a scheduling conflict.
We've had that all week.
Yeah.
And so
I think that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, let's talk about our schedules and why they suck.
So my schedule's pretty much been, my schedule hasn't changed much. My schedule is pretty the norm. I hit the gym on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Harley has practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
And I hit the gym on Wednesdays, off on Thursdays, hit the gym Fridays, soccer games Saturdays and Sundays. And that's been, and then the girls have dance Wednesdays and Thursdays. So, and that's why, and Thursdays have always been our rest day from the gym, just because that's the day we chose to, we hit the gym 4 days a week, so we just chose Thursdays as our rest day. But then it just so happened that dance ended up being the heavy day on Thursdays. So, and that's kind of our schedule.
And we used to
worked out that way. When
we first started this podcast, we recorded on Sunday afternoons.
We recorded on Sunday afternoons.
Set thing, and then that got tough because of my schedule. Because on Sundays, like Beth and I will take the boys to go to church, and then we go to her folks and all her siblings and our nephews and nieces or whatever. We all do lunch or dinner together.
Right.
And I would come out here, record, and then go there. And then they started doing lunch instead of dinner, and so we moved to Tuesday nights. Well, now Huck starts T-ball for the first time ever, and almost all of his games are Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right.
So next week it's not, so it'll work out. But yeah, my schedule just changed because of work. So my new job, Beth and I had this conversation last night. My old job was set 8 to 4:30, barring any crazy emergency. Mm-hmm. You know, well, I would get up. Beth would have the coffee ready. I just got to turn the button on. She would have my lunch packed and waiting on me in the fridge. I just throw it in the box and go. Basically, she did everything for me. Well, now, half the time, I could be working from home, or I can be going to Cincinnati, or I could be going to Dayton. I could be going 4 hours in a day or 13 hours in a day. Right. So that changed my work schedule, and Diesel is going to town.
Oh, yeah.
Dinosaur femur. If you guys can hear that in the background.
Yeah, that's his birthday gift.
Diesel boy, which you can see him on our Instagram, is eating a brontosaurus leg bone or something.
It's a cow. It's either a cow or a pig femur.
It's huge. He's really enjoying it. It's breakfast time.
Yeah, he's had breakfast, and then he's
This is brunch.
Yeah, this is I'm surprised it's lasted this long, to be honest. Usually it's down to the nub that he's chewing on now, and that's the only thing left. And it's only been a week and a half or 2 weeks since his birthday. So he's getting older, so he's taking his time with it.
When he's got time. He doesn't have a schedule.
No, he's
kids, schedule. The kids in the sports thing, this is new to me. So it really messed up our recording this week as far as when we record. And now I was trying to get stuff done this morning, told you I'd be half hour late. You said, yeah. Now you're pushing into my kid's game, and it's just a mess.
Right.
So you have two kids that are involved in sports. I have a kid that just got into T-ball. I want to get him into wrestling, this coming year. And we have an infant. And really, I guess what we were going. This coffee is not kicked in yet. What I was trying to say is that's kind of what we're talking about today. Is how do we manage our time? How do you do all the things you want to do? And a lot of my friends are of the mindset that kids ruin your life.
Right.
I know a lot of people that are of the camp that kids keep you from doing what you want to do, or they hinder your goals, your dreams, your toys, whatever you want to buy.
Yep. Well, and this goes to something that, so last week we were over at Aaron, and we recorded with Aaron and Drew.
Yeah.
So as
KamiWaza.
everybody hears this week, next week's show will be about common sense, and we were with KamiWaza. And that is a great show. I'm actually in the process of editing it now, so that'll come out 2 days earlier. We're going to release that on the same time they're releasing theirs. So it'll come out on Monday, the 20th, I believe, at 5 a.m. So that'll be a little different release schedule for that one, speaking of scheduling.
Right.
So, but they were talking about, I think at one point on one of their shows, they were talking about who should come first, the parent or the kid, and who should be put first. And the parent should come first.
Yeah.
Because without the parent coming first, the kid can't survive.
Yeah.
So, it's who is more important. Yes, kids are important, and I do believe that, but who should come first is the parent should come first in most cases.
Yeah.
To, and it really depends on, what the situation is. It's the scenario came up when you're on an airplane. What do they tell you on an airplane in an emergency situation when the mask falls from the ceiling?
Open the window and throw the kid out.
Right.
We ain't got time for him.
You ain't got time for that shit. It's put the mask on yourself first, then put your mask on your kid.
Well, that's just like I tell people So people serving in a school. I have a lot of friends that are teachers, or people even in your job, my job, especially people at churches. Man, people get so burnt out trying.
There's no kids in my workplace.
And, no, but here's the thing: if you get burnt out at work, how much good are you at work?
Right,
you're worthless.
No,
you have to keep yourself from getting burnt out. Take care of yourself, or you're worthless to everybody in your life.
So it's all about scheduling your time off.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It is. And that's one of the things. I think it's a misconception from people that have never had kids. And several people, I won't name them, but several have been, we've discussed it, and they always joke about not wanting kids. Kids are a drain on your resources. Right. Kids are, I don't think I can explain it to somebody that hasn't experienced it. I can talk about it with folks that do have even one kid. It's different being a parent. Yep. All these people say, I see a bunch of snot-nosed brats being a-holes in restaurants, or, I've got nephews and they're cool, but I wouldn't want them because they're all little butt heads or whatever. And when I talk to these guys, they say, kids take up so much time. They joke about you can't go work on your car, you can't go to the movies or go out with your friends because your kid has T-ball, or you can't record your podcast when you want because your kid has soccer, or whatever the deal is, a science fair. And they see it as being a sacrifice that you have to make in a negative sense. They see it as being a controlling factor in your life. And some people who didn't want kids and actually ended up with them and are trying to be good parents kind of see it that way, it seems. But for me, we tried so hard to have kids.
Right.
For 7 years, we were told by every professional, every doctor, everyone we talked to, they said, you guys probably will never have kids. Deal with it. They didn't say it that way, but then Beth got upset. Long story short, not turned into a religious thing, but the church prayed for her. She got pregnant like almost instantly. So believe what you want, but that's how it happened for us. And for us, it was such a joyous occasion that ever since then, the last 5+ years that I've been a father, and now a father of 2, I don't see things like this T-ball as a drain. I don't see it as a negative.
No, and I don't see soccer as a negative. I hate soccer, but I don't see it as a negative
for your kids. It's negative,
kids.
But
it's a I schedule around it. I want her
Right.
to be active in sports. I want her.
Right.
It's a disciplinary action.
Right.
Not a. It's for her to understand how to play with others, how to get along with others,
and take instruction from others besides
right.
you and Liz.
Right. It's a coaching aspect. It's how to get along, and it's how to survive and thrive in a team environment.
Right.
And how to work with others.
And work with peers, people your age.
Well, and older. I mean, because she's in kindergarten, and she's going up against girls in second grade.
Okay.
I mean, it's brutal. I mean, she's going up against girls who are...
And she's not... I mean, she's tiny.
She's little. She's going up against... She's like 45 pounds, and she's going up against 70-pound girls.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some girls that she just gets run over. So, as much as I have discontent for the game of soccer, it's like, for her, it's more like rugby in this sense. I mean, she's just getting run over. So, and I'm with you. Absolutely, with everything that you said about the having kids, and I don't see it as being a negative at all. Right. Like I don't put my kids first in almost every facet of life. Right. I mean, I went out and bought a sports car. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about what it was going to do. Can I get all the kids in the car? Nope.
Yeah, you didn't care. That's not why you bought it.
That's not why I bought it.
You didn't go out and get a station wagon.
No.
You got a fun car.
Am I looking to sell it because the kids don't fit in the car? Yeah. But that's
partially. You really want an excuse to get a bigger, better...
I want a bigger, better, faster car.
Right. You're like, oh, the kids don't fit. Shucks. Guess I need something faster.
A bigger four-door, faster car with twin turbos and a V8? Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got that 82 Ford. And when I got it, I love old trucks. It's a standard cab, 8-foot bed. It's something you don't see on the road every day. Right. And, when I got it, Beth was kind of skeptical, and she was like, we can't get all the kids in it. And I was like, yeah, I know. That's why you have a Camry. I'm not buying this truck for us to go down to Tennessee on vacation as a family in. Right. I'm buying this truck to make a little, which I am going to relower it again.
You keep saying that.
I know. Time. It's scheduling, man. Right. But, I bought it for me, and I love it. She likes it. The best part is the few little trips I have taken Huck in, I put his car seat in, so he's on this bench seat. He can see everything, and he's like, and it's loud, so he thinks it's fast, and it's me and my boy. It's so slow. But it's me and my boy just rolling through town. Windows cracked, and it's
father-son time.
Yeah, I don't see. I have a kid, and I still bought the truck I wanted. I don't see kids as a hindrance, but there is that aspect that is we do sacrifice for our kids, but it's because it's what we want to do. Like you said, you want your kid to learn how to work with others. If that comes via soccer, so be it. Right. It's not that you want to go to 2 games today. It's not that you want to go.
I don't want to go to 2 games.
Exactly,
today.
That's my point. But
I don't want to go to 1 game today.
I love going to. So when Huck started t-ball at practices, he's easily distracted, which everybody in both mine and my wife's lineage.
Well, he's a kid. He's going to.
Yeah, he's 5, and we all are just flutter-brained all the time. Well, the first game, we go in and the coach says, hey, Huck, you're going to be the catcher. And I'm like, what do you need a catcher for in t-ball,
The
coach stands there.
Yep.
Well, he got the pads and put them on, and the coach was given pads by the league, which it's t-ball, so they just got the crap. Right. Well, what they got was pads for bigger kids. So when he put on the shin pads, the knee part was actually up by like his hip. So you couldn't even do those straps because he wouldn't have been able to bend his legs. And then the chest protector hung like halfway down his thighs. And the funny thing was the helmet was like small. It was like for a baby doll. Yeah. So he wore his batting helmet, which has a face mask. And he goes running out there, and he's kind of he can't really move. But man, every single play he got so excited when they threw the ball in. He'd run and get it, and try. He'd stop it. Because I taught him, you don't let anything go by you. No matter what position you're playing, your job is to not let the ball get past you, whether it's hit to you, thrown to you, whatever. Knock it down. At the very least, stop the ball. So he's out there and doing a good job. He'll get the ball put on the tee, and at the end, he asked the coach. He said, do I get to play this B catcher next game? And the coach was like, well, we'll see. We're going to try and let everybody get a turn. And he said, he pointed to the gear they'd taken off. And he goes, but that's my armor. and after that, like, the coach was like, all right, unless another kid wants to, Huck's always catcher. And they got him better fitting stuff the next game and all this. And so now for me, I'm going out there, and I've kind of become one of the assistant coaches helping with the kids. They've asked me to kind of be out there. So I'm out there with my boy and all these other kids trying to teach them the game. And, well, I have to, like this week he had a game Tuesday and Wednesday. One day I was working from home. The other day I kind of had to rush home to get there in time, and then I was supposed to leave after the game and work late into the night. Thankfully that got canceled, but all that time running from Columbus down to Circleville, if I would have had to go back, I would have had to come back up to Columbus. I never once thought it was a drain on my time. It's something I enjoy doing. I enjoy my kids, but to your point, I also would not let something my kids want to do take away from what I want to do.
Exactly.
That goes. In an earlier episode we did, a very early episode, we talked about like the helicopter parenting and then the like. Let's do everything for the kids,
right? And that goes back to something that Aaron had posted on their Instagram feed about FOMO, fear of missing out. Mm-hmm. But there's another thing called JOMO, the joy of missing out.
Yeah.
Which I have.
Yes.
It is not going out and doing things.
Well, something he posted on, I saw it on Facebook.
I saw it on Facebook, and I actually commented on it, and I said, well, what about JOMO?
Yeah.
Which is, like I said, the joy of missing out. The
Right.
idea of not going out, seeing people going out and doing these things, and you just sitting back and going, I am glad I'm not doing that. I'm happy that I'm sitting here and I'm not going out and doing those things.
Yeah, another thing that he posted, though, was, talking about yes versus no. Right. Yes is a debt. When somebody asks something of you, whether it's your kid or a coworker or a friend, family, whatever, and you say yes, you're now indebted to that person for whatever it is.
For whatever it is, yes.
When you say no, it's a credit. It's a saving. So it's instead of you owing somebody because you agree to do something, when you say no, you have that time still.
Right.
So you said yes to your kid playing soccer. Now you're indebted to her to get her to these games and all this. You made that choice. Now, I think that's a right call in this situation. But you and I both said yes to this podcast. You and I both said yes to the gym, blacksmith, and my music, the other stuff we do.
Yep.
And when it all comes together, you look at the bank of your time in your life. And I was thinking about on the way out here, me texting you and saying, hey, I'm running late. I'll get as soon as I can. You said, hey, that's not going to work well. Crap. Now I had to, because I was indebted to you to be there at the time I said. So instead of getting here in an hour from when I messaged you, I got here in like 40 minutes. I did my best to push it back to where, and that was because I said yes. I set a time, and I was then in debt to this show. Had I said no, we wouldn't have recorded today, or at least this time today.
Right.
We would have been relaxing. I would have been sitting at home, probably still not showered, screwing around, playing games, playing with my boys, whatever, drinking my own coffee, which is just like Folgers or whatever. We got it for free. So it's not good.
This isn't great either. So
yeah, it's not bad.
It's a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
It could be better.
Yeah. But when I said yes, when we said yes to this podcast, we're kind of in debt to each other and to our listeners. And when Aaron posted that, when he said, when you say yes, it's a debt.
It's a debt.
It
absolutely
really
is.
hit me. And I read through the post. I actually read through it 2 or 3 times because he went more in depth. But driving out here, I thought about that, and I was thinking about, man, I'm rushing out here. I'm trying to get here safely but quickly. And I got to rush back. Well, I don't have to rush back now. You have to rush out of here to go to a soccer game. I've got a wedding later today to go to, out 45 minutes away from our house. It's like an hour and 15 from here. And I just started thinking about time and scheduling. So with my new job, there are days that I work 13 hours. There are days I work 8 hours, Mm-hmm. It's hard to explain to people why you do what you do when they do things different. You go to the gym 4 days a week. I don't.
Right.
So you go, well, I'm taking off from the gym. You don't go to the gym. What do you got going on? You know, we've all got to make our own schedules and maintain our time our own way. So we've got to, every little thing we do in life is, I used to do this illustration with teens. So I had one of those big giant mason, like picture a pickle jar basically. Okay.
Right.
And I filled it with ping pong balls. And I asked the kids, is the jar full? Yeah, it's full. You can't fit any more ping pong balls in.
Nope.
So then I'd get out a sack of marbles and pour marbles in. Of course, they'd kind of, I'd shake it around. They'd settle around ping pong balls. I'd say, okay, well, now it's a full. And a couple kids were kind of catching on, like, okay, let's see where it's going. Some would be like, okay, yeah, I get it. You've put more in. It's full. Then I'd get out a bag of sand, and I pour sand in, shake it all up. Sand fills in everywhere else, right? I fill it to the brim, wipe it off. It's level. All right. Now is it full? Well, the sand's like one of the smallest things you can see with your naked eye. Yeah, it's full. Right. And then for the demonstration, one demonstration I did was I took gasoline. I was outside by a campfire at a camp doing a little devotion, and it was just a clear liquid. They didn't see it. It didn't come out of a gas can. And I poured it in. The liquid, of course, fills everything else. When I did it inside, I did it with coffee, and you'll see why in a minute. So once I pour the liquid in, I say, now is it full? They're like, okay, now it's full, right? It's filled to the top. There's sand, marbles, ping pong balls, and whatever liquid it is. So the way I get to talking about it, I said, okay, guys, you need to understand that this jar, it kind of represents our life, right? We can put so much into our lives. We can invest so much into us and who we are. The ping pong balls are the important things. That's your faith, your family, your ambitions, goals, dreams, your job, your career. You know what I'm saying? It's the things that make up who you are as a person. The
right.
things that you would give up all material things for. These are things that you believe in. The marbles are the things you like. It's your sports. It's your music. It's your foraging. Whatever it is you're into. Going to the gym, your car, your fun stuff, your friends. But it's not those things that are top priority. It's kind of that second tier. And then the sand is just all the crap. It's the getting flustered and frustrated because somebody said something to you. Or you saw someone on Facebook you didn't like, or somebody cut you off. Or it's that fact that you keep going to Susie's soccer games, even though she's been injured, and that bothers you because you can do that. Whatever it is, it's the crap that drains you. It's that debt on your time. And then I'd start talking, and I would kind of start BSing about life. And I'd keep going until somebody would inevitably raise their hand, or I could see it on their faces. They're wondering what the liquid is. And originally, with whether I use coffee or L8, which is a ginger ale that I love, or whatever, somebody'd say, well, what's the coffee for, or whatever. And I'd say that just goes to show that no matter how busy you get, there's always time for a little coffee with a friend.
Right.
Take time to slow down. You can still fit that in. It was kind of like one of those kind of neat moments.
And when you use the gasoline, you just set it on fire.
So here's the thing with the gasoline. So we're by this bonfire. It's a pretty big one. I've got like 150 kids at this camp. I'm in charge of doing the nightly, like the last eve of the night. And so I pour the gasoline in. Some kid asked. It looked like water. It was like clear to them or whatever from where, it's midnight. And the way I did that was the gasoline represents Christ. We fill our life with so much other stuff that's important to us. We put Christ in as an afterthought and go, he can fill in all the cracks. And I threw that jar on the fire, and it kind of kind of sizzled and some stuff. Ping pong balls started popping, which I didn't think about. So I'm like sitting there talking to the next part, and they're like, pew, pew. But then I took another jar.
And Christ fired back.
Right. We're kind of going to get a little off topic, but I'll make it quick. So I took another jar, and I said, what if we put Christ in first? I felt like half full of gasoline, and then threw in a couple ping pong balls and marbles and a little bit of sand. And I was like, see how much, like if we put Christ first, there's not room for all that crap in our life, blah, blah, blah. And I took that jar and threw it on the fire, and pandemonium. It wasn't like, it was safe. I had guys, like the other people working the camp, I made them all aware. My cousin had a garden hose, a bucket of water, a fire extinguisher, but I didn't tell any of the students or any of the, a few of the higher staff. It made an impression, and nobody died or even got cinched hairs. All the kids were a safe distance away. But, yeah, I wasn't allowed to do that one anymore. I'll just leave it at that. It made a big bonfire into a almost fire department coming out bonfire.
Nice.
But yeah, so you think about it though. You take that jar and think about, okay, this is how much time I have. So for most of us, let's say adults. I'm not saying with kids or without kids, just adults. Right. Those ping pong balls are our close friends, our family. You know, maybe our parents or our cousins or aunts and uncles, friends we grew up with. Like we talk lifelong friends on a previous episode here.
Yeah.
It's the things that are near and dear to us, the things that we would sacrifice great things for, maybe even lay down our life for. For those of us with kids, that may be our kids. And when I say sacrifice, I don't mean, oh, I'm going to do whatever they want. I mean, I would take a bullet for them. Yeah, I would,
absolutely.
So those ping pong balls in that jar are going to take up a lot of space per ping pong ball, but they should. So it's really a prioritization thing. You got to figure out what your ping pong balls are, right? Mm-hmm. And then the marbles are the next tier. So I want the fast car, but if I have to pull a ping pong ball out, is it worth it? I want a big fancy house or whatever it is, a remote control drone or whatever you want to spend your time, resources, money on. Is it worth getting rid of? Well, whatever. I might have to take some ping pong balls out if I could get a helicopter. That'd be sweet. But you got to think about it. If I've got this much time, what am I willing to sacrifice to get those marbles? Or do I say, you know what, the ping pong balls are the most important to me. I'll fit in the marbles where I can.
Right.
So for me, my ping pong balls are my wife, my boys, my folks, my brother, and all this. The job for me falls into the marble category. Because in the end, I used to, my career was once, long before I had kids, was a ping pong ball. Mm-hmm. I would do anything to try and make more, climb the corporate ladder, blah, blah. And I was moving up in banking. I didn't even start, most bankers I know start as tellers, work their way up.
Right.
I started as a personal banker from previous sales experience when I got into banking. So I was already on the platform, at a desk, working loans, making deals. And I was working to make that incentive and to not, I hated meeting sales goals. I wanted to be one of the best. So I got to where I would be at any bank when I was really putting in effort, I'd be top 5 in the region. Because every month you get a report of the whole region, who's done how much in sales, how much in credit cards, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I always want to be up top. So I would constantly push for that, and stuff would, of course, break down, fall through the cracks, deals would get lost, and I'd come home just miserable. And it got to a point where it was starting to affect my marriage because I was letting that be a ping pong ball. And when I did that and it was bringing me down, it was affecting all the other ping pong balls in my life.
Right.
It was affecting hanging out with my friends, affecting having a good dinner with my wife because I was just in a bad mood. And finally I went, screw this. And I quit banking after like 9-10 years. And I went towards more blue collar work where it was it was physically tougher than sitting at a desk, but I came home in a great mood, So I'd work hard, blah, blah, make decent money, but there was no room for that incentive, so I couldn't make anything more on top of my wages.
Right.
But I came home in a fantastic mood. And at that point, 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was, I realized that my career needs to be a marble and not a ping pong ball. And I haven't let it since then. So for me, my career, my job, you good, Diesel? All right. Those will always be a marble now because if I lose my job, I've still got my family.
Right.
I've still got my truck. I've still got my apartment or house, at least for a little while. But, so we've got to, when we think about our time, we've got to prioritize it. So for me, those are my ping pong balls. My marbles then become my music. I mentioned to my uncle, who I've been in bands with last night, I miss playing music out. One of my buddies I've talked about is in North Nashville. I was watching a video of them playing an old Brooks and Dunn song. They're starting to tear it up in the country music industry. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, I kind of miss doing that. And he was like, yeah, sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. That's become a marble to me. I want to do it, but if I don't, I'm nostalgic about it, but I'm not depressed if I can't. Right. So my forging, my blacksmithing, there's so much I want to do. I wish I could do it full time. Maybe someday I will. I'm kind of, learning still. But maybe someday I'm making giant meat cleavers and knives and hinges and whatever full time. I don't know. But that's a marble. That forging a marble, when people say, hey, man, what have you been doing lately? I'll be like, I haven't been in my shop for a week and a half. Or I haven't forged since Monday. Or over the winter, I was like, I ain't been out there for a month and a half because it's been negative 20. Yeah, like, screw that. It's a marble to me. It's not it's something I really like doing. But it's not something I'm going to let suck the time out of me to the point where I don't want to do it.
Right.
I'm not going to let it be that big of a debt to me. So for me, I would say my three biggest is the forging, my music, and this podcast. Those are marbles. There's stuff I really want to do, but I've got to work around with the ping pong balls.
Right.
And then the sand's all the other crap. It's the people that think I'm a jerk on Facebook. It's people that think I'm a jerk in real life. It's whatever else, It's stuff that I can do totally without and not even deal with it. And a lot of people, when I tell people, like, Facebook doesn't matter to me, all my friends and family are like, dude, you're on there all the time. You post so much. I'm like, you guys don't get it, though.
But to that, posting on Facebook and scouring Facebook are two different things.
Yeah.
Because I only post maybe once or twice on Facebook a day now.
Right.
My morning, good morning.
You do your morning, good morning.
Hey,
Go be
good morning.
awesome.
Don't be a poop head. Which was, what? Today's the 10th, 11th?
Something like that.
Today's the 11th. That was the 10th. So if you want to go back, and all my good morning messages are public, so anybody can go back and find them. So yeah, the 10th was good morning and don't be a poop head.
Yeah.
Which
I actually saw that right before I left early yesterday morning for Cincy for work.
So that's a good one. Today is just a basic.
Yeah, it was like something about
the sun is out and the coffee's made and have a great day. But I don't get on Facebook and search.
Well, my thing is
scour through people's timelines or search the timeline because Facebook doesn't show me what I want to see anyway.
Yeah, I share a lot. A lot of people are like, you're on Facebook all the time. No, I'm on other social media and I hit share to Facebook.
Right.
And the only time I comment is when people comment to me or tag me in something, or it's somebody. It's one of my golf ball people or ping pong ball people. It's somebody very close to me.
Yeah.
So if I don't scroll a lot. But if I happen to see one of their posts, I might comment, might joke with them. But it's always joking. I'm not getting into serious, angry debates. I just don't have time for that sand.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about time and time management, it's always helped me to go back and remember that glass jar. And when something starts draining me, then I think about that and I go, okay, what is this? Is it a ping pong ball or marble or sand? And the moment that it becomes sand, I say, get rid of it. No matter how you feel about it, no matter if it hurts you to want to do, get rid of it because in the end, you're going to be far better off without sand in your life. Imagine if you could get rid of all the sand in the jar and fill it with all the coffee in the world or LA whiskey, whatever it is you want to drink.
Right.
Anything but LaCroix, basically. Because that's just going to ruin your ping pong balls. But imagine if you had no sand in your jar. So you're just full of the ping pong balls, the stuff you absolutely live for and die for, the stuff you love more than anything in the world. And then all the marbles you have, all the fun stuff you want, or maybe you got a few marbles missing.
I have a few marbles.
But then instead of sand, you've got all that extra time for coffee with friends. Because you're not worried about the drama. You're not letting those things affect you.
I'd be a billionaire.
Well, honestly, I think one of the things you've done, you've taken control of something in your life that you decided one day, I'm going to start every day positive.
Yeah.
And people, for the longest time, went, dude, this is weird. Stop.
Well,
like you're an angry elf all the time. Quit posting. We know you're kidding, or we know somebody's hacking your account. People are like saying, this is not Martelle.
So it's still a debate. Am I being positive, or is it the ultimate
sarcastic? Yeah.
It's still chicken or the egg. Which one is it? Is it Am I being super positive in the morning and starting off my day super positive, or am I being the ultimate troll by posting a good morning message every single morning? Because I've been doing it now for almost 2 months.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So don't say either way.
I'm not going to tell anybody either way what it is.
So
I will, however, say posting that morning message every single morning has put me in a better mood every single morning.
Right.
Just starting off that morning. Now, I don't do it until I get to work because I don't do it first thing when I get up because I'm running through the house doing different things, and I don't have time to do it immediately when I get up. So I don't typically do it until I get to work, but on the weekends, it is one of the first things I do when I get up in the morning.
Yeah, so if you're doing it because you've had a change of attitude and decided my day will at least start positive, you've made a conscious decision that you're not going to let that sand affect you.
Right.
You took some of the sand out of your jar. You said, you know what, I could be flustered by the kids not getting up, the drive on the way into work and all the traffic, blah, blah. But once you hit that, you say, hey, everybody, good morning, go be awesome, whatever, have a nice day. You've made that decision that you're going to start your day on a positive note.
Yep.
If you're trolling, you're still smiling. Right. So it's still entertaining. You're still starting your day feeling good.
Feeling good.
So either way for you, it's a positive. Now, here's where other people got to look at your post and go, how does that fit in my jar?
Yep.
Is this sand because he's trolling and he's a sarcastic a-hole? Or is this a marble where I've got a buddy that hasn't deleted me from his Facebook like he has hundreds of other people, and he's trying to set me up? And then it becomes down to that person whether they want to take it as a positive or negative. For you, either way, you're entertained. Right. You're starting your morning right.
I'm starting my morning right. Some people are posting, and they're posting animated GIFs and memes on it, like, I have a license, and it just, it just says I can do whatever I want type of memes. Other people are looking at it, and I'm getting private messages like, knock it off. This shit ain't funny no more. I was talking to my buddy Bub, who gave me the bottle of whiskey, the Wiggle, whatever, Waggle,
whatever.
Weasley, whatever it is. You guys will hear about that on next week's episode. He just bust out laughing. Like, he was driving to work, or I think he was driving wherever. He was with his wife. He just bust out laughing, and she's like, what the hell's wrong with you? And he's like, this. And he just shows her his screen, and it was my good morning message.
Yeah.
And so everybody's got a reaction to that, to what those posts, and it's me just taking the time out of my day to...
Yeah, you're taking 10 seconds to type up something that sets the course for your whole day.
Yeah.
So you're taking...
And at least 400 and some people's day, if they're seeing it, on top of I'm making it public, so it could be...
Right, seen by whoever.
402 people's day.
So, yeah, but you're taking... Again, it comes back to time management. You decided, I'm going to take... Because you used to never post anything. Hardly ever.
Typically,
not consistent.
Not consistently.
So now you said, I'm going to take 10, 15, whatever, 30 seconds every morning to post this, but that affects more time than that 10 or 15 seconds it takes. So that's a time management thing again. You're deciding that this is becoming more important to me. So you've decided that instead of Facebook being sand, because you've been very public about how much you hate Facebook.
Oh, I hate Facebook. Facebook can suck a big one.
You took some sand out and threw in marbles in that place. You've made it something where you go, I can use it for a positive.
Yeah.
And
it's become a bigger marble. It's not a ping pong, but it's become a...
Oh, no. I don't. Facebook, social media should never be a ping pong ball.
No.
Or any interactions. It's
become a grain of rice as opposed to a grain of sand.
Yeah. It's slightly bigger. It's slightly a clump of sand
than what it typically would be in my life.
I had somebody who they're a relative of mine. We're not as close as we used to be, just because we live far apart. We both have families. Blah blah blah. So, a birthday rolled around. I didn't say happy birthday. Months later, I get on Facebook, happen to see somebody else's birthday. I said, hey, happy birthday. Well, then this cousin messaged me and said, they're not even family. Why do you tell them happy birthday when you didn't tell me happy birthday and blah, blah, and got all huffy, puffy, pissy about it. And I went, you know what? Good point. I won't tell anybody happy birthday again. And since that day, 8, 9, 10 years ago, I have not said happy birthday on Facebook, but maybe 3 or 4 times. And it's like Beth or my mom or, usually I see even my close friends, I'll see everybody else says happy birthday and you see that whole list.
Yeah.
And I'll just post a GIF like, you okay, Diesel?
Good Lord, bud.
I'll just post a GIF like, I'm with her or what he said or, I'll click like on it so they know I've acknowledged online it's your birthday. Those that are real, real close to me, I try to call them or text them or go have dinner with them or something.
Right.
Because to me, Facebook friends, quote, I'm air quoting, people can't see, are sand.
Oh, absolutely.
Or
it means so. Facebook
it's
friends
just stuff
means
I don't.
Nothing.
Yeah, and I've met a lot of people, and a lot of them may listen to this show. Some have told me they do. I've met a lot of people through the Fat Guys in the Woods / Outvying / whatever other outdoors events I've done. And I love those folks, but I don't have time to invest making sure that I'm pleasing them on social media when they live states away, and I'm here dealing with my new job, my family, my podcast, my foraging, and my music. My ping pong balls and my marbles have to come before people I met once or twice or 10 times, but only interact with mainly on social media.
Absolutely.
And until people realize that you can do that and still have those quote-unquote friends, like you can still have those relationships, they're always going to try and take that and make them marbles when they should be sand. They don't realize that, like I have 6 or 7 or 900, I don't know how many quote-unquote friends I have, but the vast majority of them are sand in my jar. And I don't mean, a lot of people, when I talk like this, they say, man, you're such a jerk, you're such an a-hole, blah, blah. And I look at them and I go, guys, I'm just being real with you. Most people would not say this to you. You only mean so much to me. I have one guy that was trying to troll me, and he wasn't even my friend. He blocked me, unblocked me. I talked about him before.
Right.
And then he was like, man, why are you so confident or why are you so, I forget how he said it, but basically thought I was coming across as aggressive and attacking, and other people jumped in and was like, no, Randy's just confident and Randy's just being honest. Like, you're somebody I met, I think I might have met the guy once in person, but he's like friends of friends of friends kind of thing.
Right.
And anytime I'll post on somebody's post, he would comment or he'd try and troll or he'd try and bring in something that had nothing to do with the post to try and get me upset. And every time I'm just like, I basically am saying, you're sand. I don't need you here. I can easily do without you in my life.
Right.
I don't block him because I don't care enough to block him. It doesn't even bother me. But he keeps thinking he's getting under my skin. And finally one day I just basically told him, you mean nothing to me. Right. And he was like, wow, that was a real jerk thing to say. I said, like, and other people are like, no, he's just being real with you. Like, you constantly you push his buttons, and they're saying you're saying to him, you don't matter. In life, he can do without you. You are trying to take up room for another marble or ping pong ball or whatever. So until people realize that they don't have to please 900 superficial friends or fake people in their life, they will never be able to fit more marbles or ping pong balls in their jar. They're putting sand in first.
He's chewing on that bone a little too hard.
He's going to hack up a doggy lung.
I know.
But until people realize that they're putting the sand in before the marbles or the ping pong balls and letting these people they barely know bother them because they don't agree with their political views or religious views or whatever, they'll never have enough time for the ping pong balls and the marbles. And the ping pong balls that really matter get affected because when you get ticked off by something somebody said online, you come home and then Liz says, hey, how was your day? Oh, my gosh, such and such said this on Facebook and blah, blah, blah. You don't want that. That's why you don't do it.
Right.
I'm using you as an example, but that's what a lot of people do. They put sand in their jar first. And when people that don't have the same ping pong balls or same marbles, be it kids, be it dogs, whatever those people put in first, they don't understand why you put in the ping pong balls and marbles you do. So for me in my time, these things I do aren't a drain. Sometimes they can cause a little bit of stress, but it's never something that I feel. I've gotten to the point where I know what's important to me. Mm-hmm. My kids are important to me. So my time has become even more valuable. And for example, when we talk time management, now I do facility maintenance, but I used to do home maintenance, and people would call and say, hey, can you fix my shower? Hey, can you install this kitchen faucet? Hey, can you help me install this light fixture? Well, I don't mind helping my friends and family, my ping pong balls and even some marbles. But then somebody would say, hey, I know somebody that wants this done. So I would tell them, well, I don't care if it was something that would take me 15 minutes or 5 hours. My minimum is $35 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. So I'm getting $70 just to go to your house.
Right, just to show up.
I don't care if it's replacing a light switch cover for you. Pay me $70. Plus, you're going to pay my gas mileage to the site. I won't charge you for the trip home. And I had somebody that wanted that done. Wanted something done, and I told them that. And they went, wow, that's really expensive. I think I can have it done cheaper. I said, you may be able to. That's fine. Just let me know either way.
Yeah.
I didn't say, okay, well, I didn't need the money, so I didn't go, okay, well, I'll do it for $40. No, my time's important to me. So if you're sand and you're going to come and take time away from my golf ball or my ping pong balls, my kids or my family, I'm going to make sure it's worth it to me. So we've got to learn that time is the most valuable thing we have. And what we fill our time with affects everything else. So when we choose to fill our time with our kids' sports, it does have an impact on everything else.
Right. Now, unfortunately, time is a man-made concept.
Yeah.
With that, the show's over. Thanks, guys. Yay!
It is time.
It is time. We have to end the show.
We have to end the show because there's a soccer game.
Because there's a soccer game.
You got a marble.
I do.
For one of your ping pong balls. You got
I do.
Your ping pong ball. Harley, she's so cute. She was funny. She doesn't have a concept of time.
Not yet.
Yeah. Because when I walked in, she was staring at a toy that was crawling across the floor, and you're like, Harley, come eat breakfast.
I'm like, come eat breakfast. She goes.
She just looks down. Harley, come here. She's just following this little wind-up toy or whatever it was, and I was just sitting there smiling ear to ear.
I'm like, all right. Yeah, she has no concept of time yet.
So basically, you all need to evaluate your pickle jars and see what you're putting in where.
Yeah. And don't be afraid of...
No.
Just
say it.
There is... So, just before we end the show, check out... I can't remember what the episode is. I'll have to go back and look at it. I can't remember if it's from KamiWaza or if it's another show. But I think it was Aaron and Drew. They went through an entire day of saying no.
Yes. It was.
It's a hard. Yeah, it was because they talked about going through an entire day of saying no. And when the waitress came over and said, "You want creamer for that coffee?" and I think it was dude was like, "No."
And he was like, "Man, I really wanted creamer for my coffee."
But man, I really wanted creamer for that coffee. And he was like, "Can I get some creamer for that coffee?" So, and the waitress was kind of like,
maybe we should put that challenge out to our listeners.
So I'm going to do the same challenge. I'm going to try to figure out how to do this at work because I do say no a lot at work. Like we can't do that, and I have to figure. And I've had to gracefully come up with new ways to say no at work.
I don't like you. Get away.
No, because usually it's a. It used to be a what the F are you doing at my desk? You just sent me an email. Why are you here? We're not doing this right now. It has now become a, hey, what's up? Click, 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 click. And they ask the question, and it's click, 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 because I just continue to work and ignore them unless I really like them. So that's my new way of saying no is ignoring them because I don't like the email, then follow up. So, yeah, I'm going to put out the same challenge to everybody else. See if you can go an entire day of coming up with saying no.
To everything.
To everything. See what happens. Do a creative way of saying no. Even though you need to say yes to something, come up with a creative way of saying no to still say yes to get something done.
Yeah, I was listening to Mike Rowe.
It's challenging.
Listening to Mike Rowe while driving around his podcast. He does these 10 minutes or less ones.
Yeah. And
he did one, and he always has these recurring sentences he repeats through them or whatever. Very well written. The guy's a genius. And one of them that he kept repeating this one line was because they knew that no is just yes to a different question. And then they talk about how the next process this guy took when he was told no, somebody else bought the idea, went and pitched it, and he was told no. And it said, but the difference was he knew that no was yes to a different question and how it affected. So I'm with you. I think we both need to challenge people to do it and let us know. And it's going to be tough for those of us with kids.
Right.
Daddy, can I have something to eat? No.
Well, I tell the girls no all the time, but
yeah, but you don't tell them no all the time, like
all the
for
time.
a whole day.
Oh yeah.
Like, Daddy, my foot's cut off. Can you take me to the hospital? No. Nope. Figure it out. You're 5.
Call 911. So, anyway, that's the show today. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and the Twitters.
Google, Tweetstagram.
There we go. There it is. Next week's episode is a good one. It'll be on Common Sense. It's already recorded. I'm already in the process of editing. It'll be probably about an hour 20 to an hour 30. It will start out a little different because it will start out with Aaron introducing the show. I'll try to do a little intro in front of it, but it will start out with Aaron introducing the show.
We're going to pump this one, too, because it was awesome.
One. It's good. It's
probably the best we've done.
Yeah, it's Aaron and Drew, and then a little we get interrupted. We get interrupted in the middle of the show with another guest. We're not going to.
And he didn't even know we were there.
Yeah, he didn't even know we were there.
He thought he was busting in on their podcast.
Jumped in, so it's a good one too. So it's awesome. I'm not gonna. That's even a special guest on that one. So that'll launch Monday the 20th at 5 a.m. So anyway, check us out: Facebook, Instagram, the Twitters, Buckhorn Podcast. For Martelle, I'm Martelle. He's Randy. We're out. See you later.
Peace.